things I can't control. Stop worrying about the dollars I don't know. Gotta stop worrying about the things I cannot know. And sometimes it feels so good. Money don't matter if it feels for you. Money don't matter if you're home. Money don't matter if it feels for you. I used to worry every day, now I got better things. Because I'm hurrying, slow down and take control. Gotta stop worrying about your problems, you should know. Because I'm feeling like my life is such a mess. Because the world has got me in it. It's my time and I should live it. Oh, money don't matter if it feels for you. Money don't matter if you're home. Money don't matter if it feels for you. I used to worry every day, now I got better things. Cause I said, baby, you gotta stop worrying. Money don't matter if it feels for you. Money don't matter if you're home. Money don't matter if it feels for you. I used to worry every day, now I got better things.
Alright, my brothers, listen closely. Tonight we make the Trojans pay. 10 years of war, they killed us slowly, but now we'll be the ones who slay. Think of your wives and your children. Your families wonder where you've been. They're growing old and yet you're still here. Do what I say and you'll see them again.
Yes, sir!
Diomedes will lead the charge. Agamemnon will flank the guards. Menelaus will let our mates through the gates to take the whole city at large. Teucer will shoot any ambush attacking. Little Ajax will stay back. Nestor, secure Helena, protect her. Neo, avenge your father, kill the brothers of Hector.
Yes, sir!
Find that inner strength now. Use that well of pride. Fight through every pain now. Ask yourself inside, what do you live for? What do you try for? What do you wish for? What do you fight for?
What do you live for? What do you try for? What do you wish for? What do you fight for?
Penelope, Penelope, and Telemachus. I fight for us. I fight for us.
What do you live for?
Penelope,
What do you try for?
Telemachus,
What do you wish for?
I'm on my way.
What do you fight for?
Attack!
vision of what is to come cannot be outrun, can only be dealt with right here and now.
Tell me how.
I don't think you're ready. A mission to kill someone's son, a foe who won't run, unlike anyone you have faced before.
Say no more. I know that I'm ready.
I don't think you're ready.
It's just an infant. It's just a boy. What sort of imminent threat does he pose that I cannot avoid?
This is the son of none other than Troy's very own Prince Hector. Know that he will grow from a boy to an avenger, one fumed with rage as you're consumed by age. If you don't end him now, you'll have no one left to save. You can say goodbye to Penelope. You can say goodbye to Penelope.
I could raise him as my own,
Burn your house
or send him far away to
find you wherever.
make sure his past is never
Gods will make it known. We'll bring you down on your knees for ya.
I'm begging,
This is the
please.
will of the gods.
Please don't make me do this. Don't make me do this.
The blood on your hands is something you won't lose. All you can choose is whose.
Oh boy. I'm gonna have to turn down the media requests now because, dear God, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this without being slapped in the face. Whew. Good morning. Hi, how you doing? Oh shoot, there's already a pixel in here. I gotta put up with a Pokemon now? Come on, I just want to enjoy a bit of positive Digimon news. I mean, we're all kind of weird Digimon fans and Pokemon fans at the same time, but I guess that doesn't matter right now. Right now, I'm just happy. Raptor Mans was poppin'. Trying out something different, if the, title wasn't anything to go off of. This is the first time where I'm going to be trying, emphasis on the word trying, a multi-stream. Like, actually. Like, I'm actually on YouTube at the same time. Note to self, I need to commission some artists for, like, YouTube-related stuff, like a banner and my icon, so I can have everything kind of matching on brand. And, I'm actually doing the whole wireless thing with the iPhone that I'm using for the VTube thing. Turns out, though, that eats battery like crazy, and I'm a little concerned about how long that's going to last, and I don't know if it'll be a good idea for me to plug in the charger while streaming. I don't know. This will, again, first time for literally everything. So, I'm still trying to figure it out. And I'm so very happy. I got to clean up my room. I got to, like, clean up a lot of things in my workspace. Like, to give you a sense of perspective, this is the first time where airflow feels great. Like, I feel so comfortable here. And, in addition to that, because tax returns was really kind to me this year, aka Uncle Sam, good old Uncle Sam over in the United States of A, decided to give me some muns. So I was able to afford a new monitor. Like, I haven't been able to do that in forever. I haven't been able to get any, like, new equipment in forever. So I have a new boom arm where my microphone is mounted. That's a lot sturdier, isn't going to sag, and I feel awesome about that. I got a brand new monitor, so I now have 3 monitors, which means if I'm playing games in the dead center monitor where I'm looking at right now, I can shitpost on one side and monitor stream stuff on the other. I am multitasking like crazy. There is no way. Hold on. You know, I don't know what I expected. I guess I was hoping that today would be, it would be bot free. No, we still have a bot. We still have a bot. That's wonderful. I love it. I love it. Yep. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Let's just block that. I'm trying to figure out how to like delete the message. I forgot about mod powers, which for whatever reason I do not have. How do I not have my own mod powers? Ah, there we go. And there we go. That's an instant ban. No more bot. The bot is now deleted. I don't know why there was a bot here. Like, I have one viewer, and that's you. I don't even have a viewer over on YouTube. So I don't know where that one bot even came from. I love it. I love it to death. But, yeah, no, just wanted to talk a little bit of the gab, doing a bit of back and forth and talking, because I am excited. I want to try something a little different. I want to build a model kit. It's kind of why over on YouTube, I believe I have it under video blogging. At least I hope it was labeled under video blogging. If it's not, this is going to be wild. But yeah, no, the idea is supposed to be, now I'm being paranoid. I'm going to have to check my own settings and make sure that, wait, did I actually put this on blogging? Did I actually put this where it needed to be? That's the ultimate question. It looks like I did. I hope. But yeah, no, we're going to be doing a model kit today. Today, I've been putting off this particular model kit for a hot minute, and I have no excuses. None whatsoever. I have been putting off the whole model kit thing for a little while now, and I didn't mean to. The original plan was to build that one like when it was released, when I got my hands on it. However, life did not go according to plan. In fact, it went the opposite way. We moved. Life got in the way. Hell, I have a couple of kits in the backlog that have been long overdue, and I've been needing to put them together, and you know what? We're going to put them together. We are going to put them together today. Today. That's happening today. I'm going to make sure of it. It is what it is. I'm going to make sure that I can put it all together and we can have a good time. But in addition to that, in addition to the new things, because I keep on talking about new things, I want us to sit down and appreciate a podcast that has taken over my brain again. Maybe it's the time of year. Maybe it's because, unfortunately, I have not run into anything that has immediately caught my ear yet besides this. And I've been wanting to revisit it for a while because me and this one have some history, if you will. You on Tube. Oh, shoot. The multi-chat's actually working. I can actually read the other chat. Hype voice acting. What's good? I've got to seriously rebrand my YouTube thing. I gotta change the icon because it still has my dinosaur. I love that dinosaur, but, like, that's not me. That's not me anymore. I'm a Digimon now. I'm a digital monster, a friend for life, if you will, a digital companion to see you through the days and the nights. But yes, hi Hype, what's good? What is good, my man? It has been ages, and if it hasn't been ages, it's maybe been a few minutes. Okay, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, and I'm being a little goofy here. Let me make sure that I have my own stream on my phone. Because if I don't, I swear I'm not going to be able to do it right. Oh, I shall miss the dinosaur, though. I mean, I kind of do, too. I would, too. But, like, the main thing is, like... How do I put this? My main thing is that I've been wanting to do this rebrand for a hot minute. It's just I've only done it on Twitch. I've never tried YouTube. And I've been thinking about doing more of the YouTube stuff. Because, well, I've been wanting to put myself out there, wanted to do some more voice acting and stuff, and I figured this will be a golden opportunity to do that. So, here I am. I will do it like that. But to answer your question, I'm doing good, just taking a break from editing to listen in. Oh, okay, well, I wonder what project you're working on. It's been a while since I've worked on a project. I really got to put myself out there. Wolf has been, like, crazy right now with projects. A lot of them I can't share on either of these platforms because I would like to keep my, my whole thing fairly safe, I'd like to believe. Let's see. But yeah, no, we are going to be working on a model kit, doing a bit of shooting the breeze, talking the gab. Well, if you ever want to do voiceover collabs, my door's always open to friends. Well, I'd be down for that. I'd definitely be down for that. But I also got to put myself out for paid productions too, because God, rent is awful no matter where you live. It's worse in California, but it's awful no matter where you live. But yeah, no, now I've been like, I think I'm distracting too much. Oh, Wolf is cooking hard. He's actually a co-worker of mine on Adrenaline Dubs. Dude, nice. I believe he was Dr. Starline for a minute while he was, you know, still alive. I don't know why I have to preface that. I don't know why I have to put that there like it's something that's like Starline is dead. He is dead in body, but in spirit we will always adore the sassy little platypus that could. We just adore him. We truly do. We truly do. All right, but I have shot the gab a little bit hard here. I really do want to introduce you guys to a podcast production that I fell in love with like a long time ago. So let me just pull up my podcast here. Let's see. He's also Eclipse for the Archie Dubs. I have a sordid history with the Archie Dubs, though. Let's see. Like, my main issue with the Archie Dubs... I can't even say the dubs. It's not an issue with the dubs. The dubs are fine. People are good, and the voice acting is top-notch because we pulled people together from all over the place to get on that. And you know what? Can't even fault them for it. It's awesome. It is freaking awesome. But I also fully admit that, well, oh boy. I fully admit that when I look back at the actual Archie stuff, the actual comics, what the hell were we voicing, dude? Like, actually, what on God's green earth were we voicing? Copy link. Let's see if this will cooperate.
Hello everyone, I'm K.A. Stats.
No, not Goshawk. That was not what I was intending. Okay. Okay. I see what I'm going to have to do. Okay. I'm going to have to open up the white vault.
Hello everyone, I'm K.A.
No. We're not doing that. Come on. I am having technical difficulties on my end. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I just always forget that the stuff that I listen to, more often than not, doesn't actually go in order. There we go. I might just have it playing in the background, and I'll just have to monitor my own PC volumes. Because we're going to switch over to the model kit side of things now, so we can kick back, relax, and properly talk amongst ourselves from one side to the other, where I'm going to go back and forth. If you see my hand moving like frantically, it's because I'm going on my phone and jumping back and forth between YouTube and Twitch, so I can keep an eye on both chats, because the only thing I haven't figured out is how to monitor my multi-stream chat all in one spot on mobile. I haven't figured that part out yet. And I'm probably hella laggy on this side too. So if there is some interference, that's my bad. Let me just test the volume and see how it looks in relation to my voice.
Several days ago,
Okay.
I came into the full collection of documents and recordings that I'll be presenting here.
We're going to lower
Although
it
many of the
slightly.
recordings and documents are dated, some lack.
Okay, perfect. So every now and again, I will also have to pause that podcast, because at the end of the day, they do make their money with their podcast. This is considered, at least on my side, let me just move the camera, free advertisement. And I mean that sincerely as free advertisement. It is for no other purpose than me to just sit down and kind of talk about the actual podcast. I will pause it every now and again like it was a reaction video, and discuss what's going on within the audio. The reason for this is because this is a video that has no actual video. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is an audio podcast. It is purely audio. The storytelling is done through the power of voice acting and incredible talent, and that is the gist of it. So let me just swap us over really quick to the model kit side. And this is where the other surprise of mine comes in. Shabuski. I'm still over here. Found out that after putting it in Wi-Fi mode, I can actually kind of, sort of communicate with you guys using my iPhone on my desk now. So now, even on my work desk, I can still talk to you guys. Let me make sure... Oh dear, I'm going to have to put you guys on the other side, which means I may bump this camera every now and again. Let me see. Okay. I can make that work. Also, random Metal Greymon jump scare. Rar, 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 rar. He's my guy. He's my little man. I should probably put him on my main desk. I like having him there. He's really cool. Alright, little engineer, we got work to do. We're going to put you up here and have you monitoring it. And turn on the light. Bury the light deep within. Don't worry, I'm not going to always randomly sing. Only sometimes. Alright. Alright, let's see how the capture is going. Am I still coming through? Let me check my Twitch side of it real quick. He's a little guy indeed. That's why he's the little engineer. He is the little engineer. I love him to pieces. I truly do. Alright, let me check on Twitch. To the other side. I am not moving. Why am I not moving? Oh, because I have a different stream running. That's why. Gosh. Alright. It looks like I'm functional, mostly. I may have to move the camera to a different location so that I can have the stream be a little bit better. Thing is that it's awkward because, as you can see, my thing is set up with a tripod. So, yeah. But is that better? Let me check on the Twitch side. It looks better. It's hard to tell. And I still have the input delay, so it's a little difficult. It's a little difficult to say. Okay, my head movements are still there, so I guess it'll work out then. Alright, cool. So I'll be jumping back and forth between Twitch chat and YouTube chat while we work on this model kit and while we listen to my personal favorite horror podcast. And I do mean that sincerely. It is definitely my personal favorite. It is very well produced. The voice acting is stellar. And what I love the most about it is that it is diverse in how the characters are. You have an English character, you have a German character, you have an Icelandic character, technically a Russian-Canadian character, and a Spanish character. Though whether that's Spanish as in Spain or Spanish as in Mexico, I have completely forgotten. Whoops! I sound a little different because I forgot to move my microphone. Turns out, my microphone is not attached to my head. There we go. That probably sounds a lot better. A lot better. Hopefully that sounds better. If not, I do apologize. I can turn up the gain slightly. There we go. I've turned up the gain, and hopefully now I can be heard. Emma Bloodfang. Oh my god, Emma Bloodfang. It has been forever. Gosh, hi. How's it going? Alright, but without further ado, we are building, for those who are curious, let me just get the manual here. Mobile Suit Gundam Wing OZ13MS. Gundam Epion. Yes, Gundam Epion. So this is an edgy Gundam, because technically it's based on the Wing Gundam that used the Zero system, or Wing Zero. And the completed product, if I'll show off the images for sticker placement back here, is a variation of the Wing Gundam that you've seen me built before, but it uses the quote-unquote Zero system. That's the system inside of it. It's a computer system, not necessarily anything else. But the idea is that this is a transformable mobile suit, similar to the Wing and the Wing Zero, but this is an edgy version where he transforms into a two-headed dragon. How does he do that exactly? Well, that's where we got to play a little bit of origami with this poor fool, and it's going to be very awkward. And hi, boss! It's good to see you, bud. So yeah, we're going to be building that, and while we actually, this image will kind of display that. It's in black and white, so I'm not sure how well the camera will pick that up. But yeah, no, that is it. That is it right there. He becomes a two-headed dragon if I basically contort him into origami. And by contort him into origami, I mean his back is now curved by force. So we're going to be building that while listening to The White Vault. For those who have been on the Discord server over at OVAS, you already know that I'm a huge fan of The White Vault. I managed to convince one of you to give it a listen, to give it a try, just to see if it satisfies that palate for good quality audio. But what I haven't done... Hydrate? You want me to hydrate in this economy? Good God. Hold on. I swear, it's because I'm yapping. That's all it is. There we go. I have hydrated. I promise it's water. It actually is water. I'm not going to lie about that. The White Vault is one of those projects that, as I listened to it in construction, was a thing that kind of followed me for a while. Not because of being bored, although that was a contributing factor, but mostly because of the way it handled storytelling. And I think you'll see what I mean in due time. Because you're going to listen to, I think, 2 episodes that establish the characters and how the story is going to be told moving forward. So if you're a fan of being an audiophile who enjoys a bit of diversity in their voice acting and a little bit of diversity in how they handle storytelling, then this might be the stream for you where you can listen to The White Vault. And for the sake of disclaimer, and I'm going to be saying it every time I do pause The White Vault, I'm going to remind everybody you can listen to The White Vault for free on audible.com because it is a free podcast, or you can get it from the same place that I'm currently playing it, on YouTube, where if on YouTube they have an entire playlist of their complete 6 seasons of The White Vault. And they're currently still in production, or they're still finishing season 7. So that'll be something to look forward to if you decide to stick around for that podcast. Or if you just want to listen to it while we stream, just always remember, I'm not paid to do it. I'm just hitting play. We listen to a little bit and maybe have a little bit of a discussion in between segments. So keep that in mind.
Several days ago, I came into the full collection of documents and recordings that I'll be presenting here. Although many of the recordings and documents are dated, some lack explanation for where they fit into the constructed timeline. Additionally, due to the multiple viewpoints present, I've taken it upon myself to edit and sort documents or recordings into appropriate points in the hope of presenting a fuller picture. This report includes the records of Dr. Rosa Della Torre, Walter Heath, Graham Kasner, Dr. Karina Schumacher-Weiss, and Jonas Thorninson during an expedition in Svalbard. The White Vault.
God, that music. It gets me every time.
This recording comes from the phone of Dr. Schumacher-Weiss.
So I know we are not more than a minute in, but if you haven't caught on, this is basically approaching storytelling from the found footage perspective. What that basically means is that the story that you're going to get, the entirety of the storytelling that is going to be presented to you, is going to be told almost exclusively in a found footage format. That is to say, well, I guess it's not necessarily the found footage format. Let me rephrase. So the story is going to be told through a collection of notes and documents. Think of yourself as playing one of those survival horror games where you enter a location and everybody took copious notes, almost unnecessary notes. You know, your Outlasts, your Amnesia, The Dark Descent, that kind of stuff. So more than likely, you're going to hear a lot of notes that are being taken, but what it is that because it's in an audio format, what they're doing is they're applying voice acting to notes that are scribbled recordings that are taken through tapes or through technology or through camcorder. But of course, you're not going to see the visual side of it. You're only going to see and hear, rather, you're only going to hear the audio side of it as though the character were reading their notes. So that is how this storytelling more or less goes. And that is how they're going to present you the characters for the effective timeline. So if you get a little confused, don't be. It's meant to be disjointed, and you're meant to piece together the events. And even the documentarian, our main narrator for the story, is going to present to you the timeline as she deems it, based on dates and based on what is being said to patch together the collected timeline. Who the documentarian is? Well, we'll find out as we proceed through the series.
Hey Mama, ich bin's. Ich soll für eine Firma, für die ich arbeite, für ein paar Wochen... Hey Mama, it's me. One of the companies I work for needs me to go on a trip out to Svalbard for a few weeks. Well, more accurately, I hope to work for them. Apparently they received a signal from one of their outposts that may indicate some rather interesting finds. Seeing as how they've been looking to expand, I'm hoping this job will solidify in a good job for me within their geological team. Oh, my stop is coming up, Mama. I'm sorry I will miss Papa's birthday, but I ordered a gift for him and shipped it to you. Please wrap it up and give it to him at the party, okay? After all this time, in this job market, I cannot afford to pass up this opportunity. I spoke with Rolf yesterday about this. He was obviously upset, but he supported my choice to take this job. If I impressed them, I would not have to live permanently on Svalbard, as most of their geological surveys take place during the summer months. It would be rough, but the payment would certainly help us with our house payments.
You know, boss, that is actually a fair point. Give me 1 second. Boss has made an interesting point. I do have, technically, at least on my side of it, the wrong category. Let's see. He said miniatures and models. See, I've been streaming here for a while, and I never knew that that was a thing. Let me see. There we go. Now we've got it updated to the appropriate category. I feel a little bit better about that. Uh-oh. Okay, I was worried that my thing wasn't working for a second. Let me see. Yeah, no, it's working. Okay.
Honestly, Rolf is not the best at keeping secrets. I found a ring when I was cleaning. Mama, I think he will propose when I get back. Before spring for certain. If I don't message you again, be well. I love you and I'll see you later. Pass my love on to Papa, okay? Tschüss!
Dated slightly before Dr. Schumacher Weiss's recording, Mr. Walter Heath of Reading, UK, had written in his personal journal, a collection of emails he sends to himself in the folder labelled Documentation.
I got a job. Serendipitous timing. My lease is up on the flat soon, and the company says the job will take a little less than a month, between travels, preparations, and weather conditions. I don't own too many possessions, especially after the divorce, so that's not going to be a problem. I have a few weeks to sell some things on Gumtree. I know a friend who will give me a few pounds for my old TV. And Molly took Sir Tufts in the separation anyway. Yeah. Space between this place and me would seem like a certified vacation, were it not in the ass-end frigid wastes of Svalbard. So yes, the job is in Svalbard, land of polar bears and the midnight sun. Except at this time of year...
So one thing I do want to comment on, because I feel that it is a triumph, especially for this particular podcast. If you didn't catch it from Dr. Schumacher Weiss's recording there, so what's cool is that this story takes place with multiple languages. Each of them are speaking a language. Some of them understand each other, most of them don't, but the general gist and idea behind this mode of storytelling is that it's going to start whenever they're taking notes, unless the notes are for official recording and writing for the company that they're signing up for. they will speak English. They will try to maintain English communication. But whenever it's personal notes, like communications not intended for company eyes at all, they will speak in their native tongue or they will write in their native tongue. And I personally think that is a testament. That is like a big core strength in this version of storytelling because, well, it's exactly that. In this story, you get a multitude of characters who are coming from different backgrounds and walks of life who are going to be experiencing horrors together. And it doesn't sound like there's anything horrifying going on, but that's the beautiful thing about the documentarian. There is an implication that something terrible is going to happen. And because when I listened to this, I was listening to this as it was being uploaded, I was always faced with that dread while listening to it. When is the bad thing going to happen? Because it's not a matter of if. This is not a story of if something bad happens. This is a story of when something bad happens. And that's an important distinction to make.
I'll be lucky to see any sun at all. It's not as though I have a tanned complexion to maintain. I'd been sending out feelers for a job for months now, but I'd not even applied for their company. CG Group is some independent mining contractor out of Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. Apparently, they're hiring on short notice due to many of their general contractors occupied on winter jobs elsewhere, since apparently most people don't want to head to the dark, cold, endless night of a hungry bear-ridden glacier. I, on the other hand, have little less to do than pack up and head out. When I spoke with them on the phone, I was told I was required because of reports of an equipment malfunction. They're sending a team to an outpost to address the issue. The company is unsure what caused the signal they received, but it's more expensive to mount multiple expeditions than to send a team, including myself, out to fix or assess the transmitter. I heard rovers may be involved. And the pay is fantastic. I'll be back in Reading at... No, I'll find somewhere else to let a new flat. After all this is over, there will be no need to come back here.
No other documents pertaining to their work with the Seeger Group were found before the arrival of the team at the Seeger Group meeting station on Svalbard in Ny-Ålesund.
Oh, hello. Come in. Are you Mr. Kastner?
No, sorry to disappoint. I'm Walter Heath, the repair technician and IT specialist.
Sorry, Mr. Heath. I'm Jonas Thorsson. But please call me Jonas. I'm the CG Group's project representative for this expedition. I hope your travels were not too difficult.
Everything was quite fine. My flight from Longyearbyen experienced some fairly frightening turbulence, though. I hope you don't mind, but I'm recording this. This is quite the adventure into the Dark North.
Not at all, please. Though I don't think my voice will lend to fair listening. The flight turbulence, that is to be expected during this time of winter. It is uncommon to have flights this time of year for exactly such a reason. There's coffee on the pot if you would like some.
Oh, yes, please. I think my fingers are stuck in place. After a bout at the university, I promised myself I would never head further north than Aberdeen. How things change.
Is this the Seeger Group?
Yes, please come in. The heat will get out. I'm Jonas Thorsson. You must be Dr. Delatore.
Yes, nice to meet you, Mr. Tomlinson.
Jonas will be fine. Please, come in, Doctor. Pour yourself a cup of coffee. We're waiting on others.
Thank you, Jonas. And Rosa will be fine. Are you also on the expedition?
Yes. Hello. Hi. I'm Walter Heath, the repair technician and IT specialist. And you, Dr. Delatore, are you a geologist? Volcanologist? I don't know what Seeger Group would need out there beside me in a warm overcoat.
Rosa, please. And I am a medical doctor. I've worked on Svalbard for companies before. I'm there to make sure you and the others on the expedition come back in good health, Mr. Heath.
Walter is fine.
Jonas, are you on the expedition?
Yes, I'm the Sitcha Group's project representative.
And that entails...
I report back on the status of outpost stations and assess the abilities of potential hires.
So you are the man to impress.
Hello? We're looking for the Sitcha Group.
Yes, come in. You must be Dr. Schumach Weiss and Mr. Kastner.
Hello.
Mr. Kastner and Dr. Schumach Weiss. This is Dr. Rosa Della Torre and Mr. Walter Heath. I am Jonas Thoresson, the representative for Sitcha. Now that we're all here, I would like to begin the short presentation regarding our goal at Outpost Fristead.
Mr. Torresson. I see coffee. Is there coffee?
Please call me Jonas. And my apologies, there's coffee over there. Please make yourself comfortable while I set up the presentation.
I will warn you right now. If you are tired of hearing people mention coffee, it's only going to get worse from here. Like, coffee is practically their religion. They drink copious amounts of coffee. Why do they drink copious amounts of coffee? You know, that is an excellent question. I have no clue why they drink so much coffee. I just know that they drink a lot of coffee. It's a curse. There was a long time in the story where people on the subreddits and in forums were actually discussing if the coffee played an important act in the future events to come. I'm going to dispel that for you right now so that you don't accidentally go into the conspiracy theory of Red Wire, because I did, and I was very stupid for that. The coffee is not an actor. The coffee is not a paid actor. It's just coffee. It's what you drink because you're freezing cold. And if you've never been to Svalbard, ask Emmy when you see her, since she's of Icelandic culture and descent. So imagine her surprise when she listened to this and found out that Jonas Thorson, I think it's Thorson. Yes, Thorson. Because, you know, Thor is in the name. Icelandic. Enjoy that. So, little bits and pieces of culture there. You're going to hear quite a bit of it. And if you get lost in the language barrier, don't. I believe the transcripts exist, so you can always plug them into Google Translate and find out what these characters are saying if you are curious enough. And trust me, you will be. I had to get so much red string when I was listening to this story.
Are you recording?
Yes, it's for my travel logs. Does it bother you?
No.
And what do you contribute to our little expedition, Mr. Kastner?
Have you ever been to Svalbard before, Mr. Heath?
Walter is fine. And, no, I've never been this far north before at all.
Not many people have. I'm here to make sure you don't break down and get stuck out atop a glacier in negative 17 degrees, or get stalked by a polar bear when you go out to repair whatever it is you all need to fix.
Well, it is calming to know the company has thought so much about our safety.
Hello everyone. As the representative of Sitcha Group, I would like to thank you for accepting the offered position for the examination and repair expedition out to Outpost Fristead. Sitcha Group knows it was a short notice, but we are appreciative and hope you find yourself in the position to aid Sitcha further in the future. Several weeks ago, a transmission from Outpost Fristead was received at Sitcha Group's primary receiving station here in Ny-Ålesund. While we mostly operate mining contracts around Svalbard, Sitcha Group is also an established surveyor here and across multiple Scandinavian countries.
Excuse me, I'm not sure if I got this right. I think I heard something about polar bears?
They must be hibernating about now.
Polar bears do not hibernate.
That answers my question.
We have specialized equipment at several outposts, including Fristead, that receive input signals from several research rovers, both belonging to Sitcha Group and multiple other organizations who prefer to use our network than set up their own. The signal we recently received from the station was unintelligible, but more importantly, that outpost is only meant to receive and aggregate data for collection in the summer, not send messages or signals unless a malfunction or an emergency has taken place. We cannot tell what it was based on the single message received. Due to this, Sitcha Group has decided to send out this team to find the reason for the signal.
Wait, Hold on, I was told that my expertise would be needed. This sounds more like some lost tourist stumbling across a refuge from the winter cold.
And that very well might be. But the information collected by those rovers is paramount to several geological studies being undertaken here, for several reasons across several projects. Your past work with the advancements of the use of GPR and its mining applications, as well as your recent work in Norway regarding volcanic activity, has been taken into account by our primary managers. I'm not a scientific man myself, so I apologize if I've misrepresented your work.
So I am to examine the collected data, right? I will at least require information regarding what data has been collected and what for.
Not exactly. Because of the rovers, we utilize an algorithm that takes incoming geological data to inform us of any important changes to Svalbard itself. For both glacier and seismic activity can at any point endanger the life of miners on the island. If the program detects too many outliers, it can be considered an emergency. I will have some papers available for you tomorrow when we depart. I apologize for the short notice. Being it is the winter months, many simple amenities are not fully stocked. Printer ink, for example.
Ah, thank you. Also, I do not see why this could not have been messaged to me earlier.
Now that we understand Dr. Schumacher-Weiss's role, Mr. Heath, or Walter, will be required to inspect and repair the transmitter for any possible damage. While Citigroup is uncertain for the reason for the signal, the cost of sending two groups at separate times is too high. One of you may be redundant, but you will be paid nonetheless. Dr. Della Torre and Mr. Kastner are assigned to get you there and back safely. I will be accompanying you in case of any damages or events that require documentation for Citigroup records. The next rover is scheduled to transfer information to the outpost 3 days from now, so we must assure the station's receiver is operational by then. Every instance of lost data cut.
This was the point at which Mr. Heath's recorder died. The next available document is an action report from Mr. Kastner following their arrival at Outpost Freestead.
So if you've noticed, there's a lot of talking. If that will deter you at any point, just know that podcasts are pretty much 50% that. And, again, these characters are quite colorful. You can tell in their tone of voice what type of character they're going to be, or at least what type of archetype they will fill out in the story. Talking in my podcast? Yeah, I know, right? Novel concept. Perish the thought. But, yeah, no, if you've noticed the way that they talk and the way that they're presenting it, they make it very clear, at least here, they make it very, very clear what the intention is, what the goal is. They give you the where, the how, the why densely, which is good, because in a podcast, you don't have a visual medium. You don't have a visual medium. You have to have the audio and you have to have the characters paint the picture for you. This is an important aspect in podcasting that a lot of people tend to get lost in, because in their attempt to make an immersive audio experience, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. An immersive audio experience is still a net positive. It just depends on where you're having the immersive audio experience. If you're looking at an immersive audio experience where it's storytelling done purely in the form of letting the audio do the work and then having dialogue that comes in where it feels natural works, absolutely. I adore it, and it has a place. Hell, I have a few podcasts I listen to that do exactly that because they want to go for the immersive audio experience. In The White Vault, they do take an approach at the immersive audio experience side of it. It's just not here. And there's a reason for that. It's because this, what we're listening to, is a story that has already happened. We're merely looking at the notes and seeing the end result.
We have successfully reached Outpost Freestead. Departure from the...
Oh, shoot, there's a guy that was in the YouTube chat. Hi. Yes, RG Epion. I built my copy back in April last year. I built the RGTV wing back in February of last year. And the RX-78-2 Gundam version back in October of last year. Okay, I love that we can have that talk. So yes, no, I'm building Epion. I haven't gotten my hands on the 2.0 RX-78-2. I really do want to, because I feel like that one's articulation is going to be godly as a drawing model for if I ever decide to get into pencil and paper work. But yeah, no, I wanted to build Epion because this guy has been sitting in my backlog for a while and I want to build him. And I figure it'd be a good first stream on YouTube type of deal. So to Christopher Sichler, I hope I said that name correctly. Hi and welcome. I'm Sparky, you're on the Pulse, and we're just building a model kit right now to kind of kick back, relax, and ease into a podcast that we're listening to called The White Vault, which, if you don't want to wait until I stream listening to it where I will pause and have discussions, you are welcome to listen to it on audible.com or on a playlist on YouTube where you don't have commercials to worry about at the beginning and at the end of each episode. So, yep, that's my advertising and shilling for the moment. And now we're going to get back to the podcast, kicking back and relaxing, and working on this here Epion.
Neolesson was planned for 0500 with 5 fully fueled snowmobiles, 4 of which haul supplies. Due to mechanical difficulties, we did not leave Neolesson until 5:25. Mr. Heath was a capable driver, contrary to previous concerns. Jonas and Dr. Schumacher-Weiss also did well. Dr. De La Torre, Rosa, had several problems with the snowmobile, only one of which warranted addressing. A belt had become shredded and was properly replaced before leaving the vicinity of Neolesson. We traveled approximately 53 kilometers to Outpost Fristead, located just south of the border to Nordvest Spitzberger National Park. We traveled slowly and safely and made it here within 2.5 hours. We have been here for some time now, perhaps 3 hours. The outpost is a bunker. Sieger Group obviously invested in these stations. We brought weeks' worth of rations with us to assure our safety and comfort, as well as restock the outpost. I spent time unloading and stocking the bunker with the goods we brought and covered the snowmobiles for our return trip. The generator was easy to start up, even given the conditions. To the slight disappointment of Dr. De La Torre, there was no injured tourist here upon our arrival. She has since taken to starting the internal appliances. She also helped put away goods in the auxiliary bunker, a few meters from the primary station. She's quite helpful, and, sympathetically. No one will accuse me of not keeping thorough notes regarding this expedition. The bunker is operational. I did not understand, Mr. Heath, but apparently something is broken, and it looks like vandalism. It will take some time to repair the damage, but he believes he is capable. Dr. Schumacher-Weiss, Karina, I think it is upset that there may be little for her to do, but she is finding some of the previously stored data here regarding the geological something of the area to be rather interesting. It looks like a storm is coming.
The next recording came from the station's computer. As part of the relay and radio built into the outpost, a recording function is available at all times. Mr. Heath made use of this use promptly.
That storm blew in fast.
Weather can change very quickly here. It's best not to be caught unaware.
I've got it working.
What?
The recorder in the computer. Hey, the radio setup here is rather advanced as well.
Do you record often, Walter?
I like to. Keeps me honest. Enough. I packed a camcorder as well.
We are well stocked. Between rations left here from the summer expeditions and the reserves we brought in, we can wait the storm out.
I even saw alcohol.
Welcome to the north.
I think it is universal.
What was that?
A polar bear.
They come in this far from the coast?
They can, though it may not be common.
Is it safe to work on the equipment? Tomorrow, that is, after the storm dies down.
Yes.
So you think it'll leave, the bear?
eventually.
You seem very sure about this.
Don't feel confident in your ability to patch up a bear attack, Doc?
Oh, I can. And I think Walter would look all the better with his scars for it.
What? No, preferably not.
It won't come so close.
Once out of the populated areas, all groups must carry weapons to further their safety precautions.
You will shoot the bear, Mr. Kastner?
Well, first I'll shoot around the bear, but if it gets too close, yes. A warning shot will scare them off most of the time.
So, how long do you believe the repairs will take you, Walter?
The repairs outside? Not too long, a couple of days at most if I can get my hands to stop shaking. I'm more concerned with the internal problems.
Is there something broken with the computer?
Well, not precisely. While it looks like the transmitter-receiver tower outside was manually and rather coarsely disconnected, the computer itself, which acts as an interface for the data both incoming and outgoing, has some obviously malicious coding.
A computer error?
No, coding is difficult. It was intentional.
So, a virus?
Maybe. I'll be examining it later after I fix the physical damage.
Any idea what it does?
I think it's what sent out the message.
So, someone intentionally damaged Citigroup property and altered some computer thing.
Seemingly so.
Thank you. This will make a difference regarding insurance claims. Please document the evidence you need to help prove this to be true. It will be valuable for my work.
So, I saw something that looked like a bottle of cheap tequila earlier.
That was a bottle of Aquavit. Still cheap, though.
Until the storm settles down, I don't see much work happening.
What are you looking for, Jonas?
Glasses.
The following letter was taken from the notepad of Dr. Della Torre, though the page had been torn out. Her handwriting, though legible, is disordered and unpunctuated. Given the content of the letter, I believe she was intoxicated.
Okay, so we're already building up an environmental aspect of the story, and that is that it seems they were lured there. What is the purpose of that lure? I suppose we are going to find out in due time. Because, yeah, that's one of the things that kind of like hooked me in, especially on the first episode. You have these colorful cast of characters. You have Kastner, the no-nonsense Russian-Canadian man. Rosa Della Torre, the doctor, who is there for the medical purposes of, any rescue. You should always have a medical doctor on staff, especially when traversing these harsh environments. Jonas is there because he's a representative, and then you have oh gosh, not Della Torre, that was Rosa. Schumacher Weiss. You got to start feeling bad for her, because it's very clear she does not want to be there, but the money is good. So now the question, once again, resonates in our heads, because, again, these are notes that happened after. When does the bad thing happen? When does it start? Do we see signs of it? Are we going to see it occur in real time? Is this going to be an ongoing issue? We will know as we keep moving forward, I guess. So yeah. We will get to that when we get to that. Oh. It would seem that I need to make a brief phone call to someone for reasons that I don't comprehend. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to disappear for a little bit. I will be back as fast as I can. Let me just put on some music for you guys to listen to while we wait. Okay?
It's almost too perfect, too good to be true. Why would the Lotus Eaters pass up on all this food? Hey there. We're just travelers. We come in peace.
Well, that was annoying. Sincerest apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I had to take care of a text message. And I still have to take care of a text message with my dad.
There's been a misunderstanding. We never came here to steal. But now that I see we've done some damage, maybe you and I can make a deal. I'll give you our finest treasure, so long as we leave alive. You can keep the world's best tasting wine. Have a drink.
All right. Much apologies on that front. It looks like life has a way of catching up with you, and sometimes folks on the other side of the state don't understand that you're a little busy. Oh dear. I'm not going to be mad about it though. It's my dad. He's all I got in this world. What can I say? We're going to let the music play out, and then I'll get back to the podcast. Thank you. Stranger, what's your name? My name is Nobody. 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 For your gift I've one to reply. I'm so glad we see eye to eye. Yes, you shall be the final man to die. No one ever expects to die. That's enough of that. We want to get back to the podcast, which it's almost done, the first episode.
Aquavit is a disgusting drink. It burns like vodka, but tastes like something you would expect from a people who enjoy pickled fishes. I've been to Svalbard enough to know it will rear its ugly head at some point or another. I miss chiles and nogada, mama's mole tamales. I'd fight for fresh fruits. Still, dill, alcohol, pickled fishes, and repugnant cheese endure. Which, as it turns out, was one of the jarred foodstuffs we were lucky enough to open tonight. Pickled fish, a tin of mashed potatoes the size of my head, and another of cut carrots. Not what I would have hoped for, but what I had expected. Jonas poured ample drink for us all. Walter was a surprisingly heavy drinker until he fell asleep at the computer desk. Karina as well. I could not stand the taste of it. Some kind of potato thing it is. Karina sipped it, as did Graham. Karina is a talker when drunk. Apparently she was some geology prodigy who lost some big job. But she won't stop going on about a soon-to-be fiancé back home. It is difficult to understand her when she starts speaking in a jumble of English and German. And she snores. Jonas showed us pictures of his kids. Twin girls. Blondest hair I've ever seen. Tiny traditional Icelandic sweaters. Cute. Graham and I were up late. It's interesting. Lots of stories from travels across the north. I think he liked tequila. Shit, it's late.
As far as I could discern, no other documentation or recordings were taken during the first day of the expedition. This completes the first collection of information regarding the repair team at Outpost Freestead. The White Vault.
All right, let me put a pause. And that was episode 1 of the podcast. And I now have to ask, of course, for those who are listening, paying attention, and listening in on my endless rambling that was sure to be on top of it, and I'm certain was getting on people's nerves, what were your thoughts on the characterizations and who we heard within the podcast? Because again, I find the voice acting to be stellar. It's dry delivery, but it's because these are characters who are straight to business. They are there for a job, and now they're stuck due to the storm that's building up outside. But I'm also certain that everyone here can see the massive coincidences that are also occurring. And believe me, they would have to be one hell of a coincidence when you consider that, oh, we were called in because there was an issue with the equipment. Well, now we know that apparently due to some malicious programming, the incident with the equipment was on purpose. Well, okay. And now we have a storm that's preventing them from leaving. And it just so happens that the facility that they are currently stuck inside of still has enough food stock left for them to survive the storm. If everyone sees what's wrong with that, we are fine. If you are having difficulty seeing what's wrong with that, then let me tell you, you and I are not surviving in a cabin together. Like, ever. Whoops, it looks like I accidentally skipped an important step when putting this together, so I'm going to have to rectify that situation. Here I am putting this whole foot together, and I didn't even put on the rest of the goddamn shoe. You see, it's times like these I'm glad that the instructions are still printed here. Otherwise, I would be lost. Now, I'm sure we still need to listen to the other episode before anyone kind of makes their predictions on what's going to happen and who's it going to happen to, as well as any favorite characters based on the listening that we've conducted with each of them. But I will tell you right now, personal favorite characters definitely go to Jonas, because I just like the way he talks. He's a family man, and I adore that. And definitely Graham. He's definitely a personal favorite, only because he's got that archetypal hero feel to him. And, oh, thank you for the hydration. I appreciate that. Always stay hydrated, especially when yapping. Although I am noticing now that I'm looking at my iPhone camera for the VTubing side of it, that definitely the battery goes way faster when I have not only the camera active, but I also have it connected wirelessly to my computer for the capture software, which makes me sad because I know that that means that I don't get to stream very often if I do this, unless I'm purely focused on video games and not yapping. And I may have to plug in the charger, which I don't want to plug in the charger. Do you not have it plugged in? No, I do not. It's kind of difficult to run a wire in my current setup, and I'm afraid that if I plug it in while it's in wireless mode, that it will die. Or not die, but it just won't charge properly. I'm going to try. Let's see if I can... Hold on. I'm going to give this a try, because I've never actually done this. Again, I've not had a chance to really experiment with my setup. I have a cable here. we're just going to plug it in, and I'm going to try to hide the cable. Emphasis on the word try, but let's be real, I will fail. And I'm pretty sure it's caught on the camera anyway. Yeah, it is. So unfortunately, I don't have as much space on my desk as I originally thought, or it just means I need to adjust my camera to a certain layout. Alright, here we go. Let's see if... Oh, come on. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. I will get through this. That is the sound of inevitability. That is the sound of my death. There we go. I don't know if that's going to fix it. Let's find out. Okay, so I'm at 30%, and it looks like the little charging lightning sign is there. Worst case scenario, this will be a short stream. So let's find out if it'll... Uh-oh. Okay, I had to double check. Okay, it looks like it's working. 35%. Okay, I have it on a fast charger, so in theory that should at least help. Hi! You can see all of my background stuff because, oh no, I don't have a good way to hide this. The place where I could hide it at is currently occupied until I can figure this out for my workstation a little bit better. So, okay, we'll see how that plays out. If it plays out well, I'll keep it that way. If it doesn't play out well, then I'm just going to have to get used to running my cables back and forth until I can make everything work. So for now, this is good, and the cable is on my lap. I don't know what to say to that, honestly. But yeah, no, I have it plugged in. I am hydrated, and I guess I leave my question in the air because I don't know what everyone here thinks in regards to the characters. I guess my question is, do you find them alright? Are they enjoyable? Are they good characters? Are they bad characters? Or do you need at least another episode or two before you can make any determination about the characters that you've been listening to on the podcast? I know it took me a little while. I just figure I ask because I'm not saying I know communities, but I can fully recognize that we are all guilty of immediately attaching ourselves to a collection of characters, not necessarily off the bat, but fairly easily, unlike episode 1 where it's like I barely known this character for 2 minutes, and if anything were to happen to them, I would kill everybody in this room and then myself type of deal. The dog. Probably an episode or 2 still. A character hasn't annoyed me yet. Annoyed me! Oh, okay. Alright. Episode 2 it is then.
Recordings are the second installment in a compilation detailing the events of the repair team sent to Outpost Freestead, consisting of Dr. Rosa Della Torre, Walter Heath, Graham Kasner, Dr. Karina Schumacher-Weiss, and Jonas Thorninson. In the winter months, gale storms in Svalbard can reach wind speeds of 130 km per hour. Accompanied by or following snowfall, such storms can reduce visibility dramatically, more so in the frigid months of the polar night. During these storms, travel is not advised. The White Vault.
So, this is where I'm going to tell you right now. Get used to hearing that phrase a lot. That is like the key phrase for all of the White Vault. Travel is not advised. And why is that an important phrase to remember? Well, I'll put it to you in very simple terms. Very, very simple terms. It is the warning label because of a reoccurring thing within the story. You're going to get to know it more as the story progresses into the later seasons for when you listen to it on your own or whatever. But in the later seasons, you're going to hear it. And if it wasn't very obvious for those of you who tuned into our D&D streams way back for Rise of the Runelords, that particular intro should sound familiar. That was back when I was still listening to, as it was airing, The White Vault. and that is the basis for inspiration for the little intro that I did for Rise of the Rune Lords during the Wendigo incident. Every time I started the stream with travel is not advised, that was the basis of inspiration. You have a bunch of people locked in a cabin, slowly starving, and dealing with something out in the snow. So yes, that is where I borrowed that phrasing from. So if that phrase begins to trigger any potential warnings of Wendigos and what Wendigos do, oh boy, are you going to pick up on themes here in a minute for the White Vault. But no, I will dispel one of those themes right away. You don't have to worry about cannibalism. That being said, look at these adorable feet. The adorable feet have these little horns and the little eyes there that make it look like the head of a dragon. And what makes it cuter is that apparently these little feet have teeth. Aw, so cute. See, Epion, despite being edgy, you edgy little bitch, is actually quite adorable. I love him. We're just going to put that on. Imagine having sneakers, but it's the head of a dragon. That's, in its own weird way, just metal as hell. I don't know why. I don't know why. And yes, boss, me. I regret my life decisions. Did I put this on backwards? Hold on, let me double check something here. This goes here, and then this goes there. Okay. So then, do I have this one on backwards? No, I do not. They're both on correctly. Okay, cool. Was worried for a hot second that I just didn't do the shoes correctly. That's a really good story setup. Exactly. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Following the previous installment, the assessment and repair team were confined to the outpost bunker for several days, waiting out a storm.
Our good old friend Wendy.
During this
Yep,
time,
Wendy.
several recordings and documents were found, though not all contained timestamps.
Our good old cannibalistic
Due to the order
friend.
of the records found.
Oh.
It's recording. Go ahead.
Well, what do you want me to say?
Talk a little bit regarding
There we go.
what we've been up to these last few days.
We haven't been up to much. Your turn, Rosa. Be back in a moment.
They're playing rummy. Why? Because we've been stuck in this bunker for 3 days now. Visibly outside is shit, and the winds would push me off the roof in one blustering swoop if I tried to repair the transmitter. Consequently, rummy.
Wendy, I can't type. You're fine.
Sorry. So, just
You are
what we have been
fine.
doing?
Let me make sure the camera's still good. Oh, damn. All right. That actually works. Okay, note to self. Listen to boss. Boss, you the man. You're the man, boss. You the man.
Over the research data, our savior, Walter, brought a laptop with a few movies on it. Shaun of the Dead, The Village, Lord of the Rings.
The Return of the King, to be specific.
You did not just actually with Return of the King, you fucking dolt.
Oh, I hadn't even thought he'd had a first name. Yeah, like Enya or Bono.
I highly doubt that a single one of you know who Bono is.
Can I call you Graham?
No.
Well, alright then. While we've been locked up in this concrete can, I've switched priorities. I took some time to look into the function that had been programmed into the receiver transmitter here. Whatever it was coded the same time as the rest of the program, and I can't easily get rid of it. I'm not sure I can get rid of it. Some kind of subroutine built into the station appears to be programmed to send out that odd signal that Siju Group received. Jonas seems rather peeved about the whole incident.
Yes.
Intro. Hello.
It will not put me in a good light.
Regardless, I can't find the whole code, odd as that sounds. I can't tell when the signal will go out again. I recommended to Jonas that Sigia contact whomever was responsible for the original programming for their outposts. That would seem the most likely culprit.
May I have the computer soon? I would like to examine some additional readings.
Not a problem. Anyone want to watch a movie?
The following is a document found on a notepad near the bed of Mr. Thorninson. His handwriting is clear and slightly cursive, though he presses down hard with the pen.
So yeah, no, they had to put in a little bit of pop culture referencing, but it should also give you an estimated timeline as to what year this occurred. So he has a laptop, they have phones, obviously, not necessarily smartphones, but they have phones, and they have Shaun of the Dead and Return of the King on a laptop to watch while they're bored, and they're playing music in the background while playing Rummy. This should give you an idea of where it fits in the timeline, but it's not necessarily like 100% evidence. So like in my head, when I was kind of putting this whole thing together in past events, this feels distinctly 2010, maybe a little bit earlier than that. This podcast came out, by the way, in 2000, I want to say 19 or something along those lines. But yes, this should give you the idea of where it all fits in a canonical sense of like, okay, this is when it took place. And that's how you're supposed to kind of put it together. So you have Shaun of the Dead and Batman. Equivalent of the modern day of Subway Surfers, and Family Guy clips playing together. No, exactly. And how goes the model kitting? Model kitting is great. Currently still working on Epion over here. Just double checking to make sure I did fairly all right on the cleanup, because some of these parts do require... I was about to miss that. Do require a bit of cleanup, since this is a slightly more advanced kit than I'm used to working on. I'm used to HGs. This is an RG. There's going to be some undergating and cleanup that have to be conducted if I want these pieces to fit more appropriately. And we're listening to The White Vault, a podcast that I've been dying to introduce to everybody, and this is the time. This is now the moment where I can introduce everybody to the White Vault. We've already finished episode 1 and have established character. Actually, I can just plainly say it. We have established in one episode the who, the where, the how. What we haven't established is the when. And that's kind of what we're trying to put together, because, again, that's just the way that the storytelling is moving. You kind of have to figure out where everything is fitting in the timeline. You don't have to worry about the series of events and where they fit in the timeline, because thankfully our wonderful narrator, the documentarian, she is handling how the events fit into the constructed timeline. And because she's handling it, we don't have to think about it too much. In fact, all we have to worry about, in essence, is just, okay, what do we worry about then? What's the story? And we will get to that. We will find out where the horror is, how the horror is, but most importantly, in later seasons, we will figure out why the horror is.
Ég saknar stelpnanna. Við setjum first the outpost Freestead. I miss my daughters. We have been sitting in outpost Freestead waiting out the storm. It is warm and we have food, but I'm disheartened. I know there is a music festival sometime soon in Reykjavik, and I wanted to take the twins to hear the music and see the lights. But I am afraid I have already missed it. Hilda was right. Obviously, she always is. This expedition will impress Miss Rosa, and I understand that, but this is so unusual. Once I get home, everything should be fine. Her mother can't continue to justify her opinions of me under false pretenses, and I'll take the girls out for pastries.
He's such a good dad. He really is.
This document was written by Dr. Della Torre on the notepad found within her small nightstand. This page was still intact, but flipped over the back of the pad.
La privacidad puede ser difícil de encontrar si es que la encuentras. Esto no es un secreto. Y como contratistas, Jonas nos ha avisado. Privacy can be hard to find, if not impossible. It is not a secret, and as contractors, we have not been notified by Jonas that it will affect our future hiring potential. I'm not worried, and Graham doesn't seem worried either. He's a rather confident man. Karina is more than happy to accommodate my requests to have the room to ourselves. She spends much of her time pondering over these geological reports anyway. That is something she can do from the common room. Graham is enjoyable. He's self-assured, if not overly so, but he is a nice, if not curt conversationalist when he decides to speak up, and he has a sharp wit about him, though he chooses not to use it. I think he fears being too coarse. He seems to like working in Svalbard, and I think it suits him. Like me, he has been out here for several expeditions. He has some tourist horror stories I wish he'd share with the others, but that is for him to decide. But the one with the ice drifts, that is too good to leave untold.
Dr. Schumacher Weiss wrote several scrawling notes across mostly empty pages of the geological data printouts. Several pages of the data were never found, and some of the words have been scratched out. I believe I've placed them in the correct order, though I think little remains of the majority of her original writings.
God, this is what I love about that character setup. So, what's really good here is that they establish that these characters have their own motivations and that they have their own wants and desires here. They're not just here because they've been paid to be here. That is a big factor, but it's not the biggest one. Every one of them have their own lives, their own personalities. Every one of them is an individual. And they also have the point of view of other characters describing their character. Because we don't hear any self-descriptions of, the characters, we rely on the testimony of other characters within the story to describe what they're like. Like, we would have never known that Graham is fairly reserved and quiet to himself, not necessarily because he's standoffish, but from the description that Rosa gives us, he's a shy, tough guy. He doesn't want to be abrasive to other people. It's just how he comes off because he's a professional, but he doesn't necessarily want to come off that way, so it's not on purpose. And again, they do it in such a good way where it feels organic that you kind of grow to appreciate the characters as they reveal themselves through the other characters' testimonies. So it only further makes it sad when terrible things start to happen. And it's only going to get worse from here. It's only going to get worse from here.
Es macht keinen Sinn. Irgendwas fehlt. Vielleicht... Nein. Doch. Irgendwelche Daten. Ich weiß nicht. It makes no sense. Something is missing. Perhaps... No. Certainly. A certain amount of data. I don't know. There's obviously some level of data missing from these data sets. Given the vague and slightly redacted version of the information regarding the material collected by the rovers, I'm slightly bewildered. The rovers are such great tools. Some of the preliminary test results shown within files report its menial margin for inaccuracy. The rovers have a range of approximately 10 kilometers, returning to within a kilometer to send the data pulse transmission back to the outpost. Seeger Group, some other private and governmental organizations, as well as universities such as the University of Iceland, Uppsala University, and Oxford, all have claimed to several active rovers and several different types of collected data. Yet I have never heard of this program before signing on with Seeger Group. Whole sections are missing. Data surrounding 79.176401 latitude, 12.852573 longitude, which is rather near us, and data surrounding the area near 79.141941 latitude, 12.883679 longitude. Not inaccurate, just missing. Otherwise, the data appears evenly spaced, the rover's taking reads every 100 meters or so. Results appear on all sides of the missing data points, so perhaps it is a programming error, or perhaps it too has been redacted. And that doesn't even seem to be the worst of the problems.
Following these records, a recording was found from the first day the team exited the bunker at Outpost Freestead after their arrival, on the personal recording of Mr. Heath.
Are you sure you need me out there?
When Kazna goes to get the supplies, I'll need an extra set of hands. Bring that torch.
Karina, are you coming out? I would like a head count.
No, I have more to do inside. The storm is still underway, regardless.
Well, it's less vigorous than it has been for several days, and given the help, I should be able to repair, or at least assess, the transmissions tower.
I am happy to assist.
Everyone ready? I'm not opening that door unless we need to.
We're ready, Rosa.
Wait. That kit behind you. Pick it up if you would.
This?
Yes, thank you.
Now?
Yes. Let's get this over with. Happy Christmas! It is cold.
The ladder to the tower is on the back side of the bunker. I'm gonna bring in some supplies from the auxiliary supply bunker over there. I'll meet you around back when I'm done. It shouldn't take me long.
Yes! Alright, team, let's get this over with. There's nothing, just white. Look at it. Anyone have that gun?
Casper gave it to me for now. Rosa, you take it.
Will do. Now get up there and fix it.
Yes, I'm climbing. These gloves are not conducive to dexterous works.
You will require more dexterous work on the tower than the ladder, Walter.
True. One hill rounded, now to the mountain.
Where should I be?
There, as a windbreak. Point the torch where I'm looking. I'll need some time to find the problem. Or not.
Did you find the break?
Yes, it's a cut. Clean through. Point the light there.
The resume was very impressive. Citigroup was lucky you were searching for a position. Were you unhappy at your previous firm?
No, I rather liked my work. I moved to my wife, Molly.
You're married?
Divorced.
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that.
Marriage seemed to disagree with me. You seem very keen to it, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always wanted a family. My daughters are my joy. Is this enough light?
It'll have to do. I don't suspect the sun is coming up anytime soon.
Not for many weeks, no.
What?
It was Rosa at the bottom of the ladder. One moment.
Wait. That was the only torch.
Here you go. Rosa had an extra headlight.
Great. Hand me those pliers and the spool of red and white wire.
Now, how long do you think it will take?
It appears as though Mr. Heath's recorder was intentionally switched off at this point. The next
Okay. So, it's important to note what was said there. Because this is where everything starts to, like, unravel on itself. Not necessarily in a bad way. I'm saying unravel in the sense of, like, the story is trying to desperately to tell you what is wrong with the situation that they are in. And I'm sure that for the keen-eared listeners, you already know what's wrong with the situation. You already know that there's something wrong with all of what was said because, well, he called it out. He said it. The question is, were you able to pay attention? Were you able to glean? So that's why I'm going to leave this moment of silence here and ask that almighty question. What did you hear that was wrong with what was being said? Because we already know that there was something wrong in the very first episode based on what our computer expert said. You know, something about the program being intentional. Someone put it in the code. So what is wrong with what was said outside about the quote-unquote damages done to their satellite? I'll leave that there for now, and I will continue playing after I see any answer. Any answer. Doesn't matter what answer it is, as long as I just know that there were some keen-eared listeners paying close attention. Also, these legs are coming along nicely, but dear God, razor-sharp kneecaps. At least I think that's the kneecap. That might be the shin in hindsight. I have no idea. I gotta work on my bass whenever I'm humming. That's gotta be something I practice eventually. Alright, I think enough time has been left there. We will get back to our main story now.
Document is an action report from Mr. Kasner, found in a folder in the common room.
We left the bunker today for a short period of time, despite the storm. We've been waiting out the gale for several days now, and this is the lightest it's been since our arrival. I've documented wind speeds periodically these last few days. We've had winds reaching 100 kilometers per hour, but today it dropped to approximately 40 kilometers sometime around noon. This was brief, as my most recent reading from 1600 was 91 kilometers per hour. The path we originally traveled to reach Outpost Freestead relies on a preliminary visual assessment of some of the glacial ice we will traverse. In these conditions, I can't make an assessment one way or the other. Walter Heath was able to repair the transmission tower. He came back with reddened fingers, but Rosa was happy to have something to worry about. While Mr. Heath, Jonas from Sija Group, and Rosa were working on the transmitter, I transferred ration
that is sharp.
from the auxiliary bunker to the primary outpost. Several of the crates in the auxiliary were alcohol, some empty and awaiting removal. Apparently, we're not the only team who enjoys an evening drink. Under one of the food crate stacks, I found an old hatch. I think it leads to additional storage or possible resources for the outpost. I'll check it out later. Karina has attempted to explain her geological findings multiple times, but her main point seems to be a lapse in the data collection. Jonas was upset to hear about this. Regarding our work here, our primary objectives have come to an end smoothly. With the tower repaired and the computer malfunction or virus identified, we should be able to leave once the traveling conditions become viable.
The next recording comes from the Outpost computer recorder for the following day.
So, everything should work now. Yesterday's work should have fixed the problems. Except for the never-ending night. That's more of a general Svalbard occurrence.
Additionally, Dr. Schumacher-Weiss was able to find some relevant discrepancies in the recorded geological data.
I'm sorry, I can't make better assessments without the full data set.
Your findings will certainly be of interest to the research teams, regardless.
Are we able to leave now?
No. While the weather conditions let up enough to allow some brief work to be completed, there is limited visibility during this storm. Even with the snowmobiles allowing us to move through the storm quickly, there is too much at stake to just drive blindly into the wilderness. We are over 30 kilometers from the nearest form of civilization, with wind, ice, pelting snow, cliff drops, and polars in between.
Well, we have a well-stocked pantry, entertainment, good company.
Anyone for cards?
No, thank you.
What are you thinking?
Maybe poker if you play.
Where are you going, Graham?
Out in the auxiliary bunker, I found a hatch. I plan to take a look. I think it may be some more food or just some equipment, but it may also be some recreational items.
Most of these stations usually have board games.
Yes, because competitive shoots and ladders is the best solution to snowstorm boredom.
I would prefer not to go back out into the cold, so go ahead. Jonas, would it be alright if I tried to hail Nielsen? I'd like to update them on the status of the tower.
Yes, go ahead. They are not accustomed to radio transmissions from this outpost, but they should be informed of our arrival at least.
Get your gear on if you're coming out, Rosa. And a flashlight.
These are names, oh my
Come
god.
in, Jonas.
No, I think I would like another cup of coffee.
Karina,
Nah, I prefer to stay here. Monopoly or no.
just you and me then, Graham?
Good to hear.
Okay, ready?
Hey, hand me that headlight.
Hello, this is Walter Heath at Outpost Freestead, reaching out to Seeger Group at Niolesen. Please respond.
Perhaps try it in Norwegian or Icelandic.
Really? You know I can't... You just do it.
No, I'm kidding. We speak English very well in Seeger Group and most Nordic countries.
Do you think anyone is there? The town was very sparse before we left.
Yes, there's always someone manning the radios at the mining towns for the mines, tourism, and just such an occurrence.
This is Walter Heath at Outpost Freestead, approximately 33 kilometers northeast of Niolesen, south of the border to the national park. Reaching out for Seeger Group to report repair status. Completed. Please respond.
So we wait. It is a boring job. Perhaps someone stepped out for a moment. Get a coffee, maybe for a piss? There couldn't have been more than 40 people in that town anyway.
Town is being generous. We think of it more as a research station.
Is there more coffee, Jonas?
I'll make another pot.
The following letter was found on the notepad of Dr. Della Torre in her nightstand.
Oop, hold on, gonna pause it there. Alright, so a little bit to discuss there. Actually, there's not a whole lot to discuss. It is deeply unfortunate that they are now in a situation where they cannot leave. It builds that sense of isolation and a sense of dread. But now we're including mysteries of undisclosed locations and bunkers. And yes, always a coffee break. Always a coffee break. No matter what, it's always going to be coffee. You're going to hear coffee a lot. Again, back when this was being like aired properly, like on Google Podcast, RIP Google Podcast, this story had a lot of people like wondering if the coffee was a conspiracy or had at least something to do with the story in some form, shape, or fashion. Come to later find out, of course, no, it does not. But it was an interesting theory to have at the beginning, back when this was still running incredibly hot as a story. It still is hot to me. I love this story. I love telling this story and having it shared wherever I can. Mostly for the conspiracies, and mostly because, okay, these characters are being introduced and you grow attached to them. You're getting to know their personal stories. Every time I hear Jonas speak, I adore that he's such a family man, that he's such a kind man. He is corporate. He is a business guy. But he is tightly close to his family, talking about his daughters, apparently having some kind of issues with his wife in regards to I don't necessarily believe it's a divorce by the sound of it, more so just their issues with the family that they're working through. Not every family is perfect, of course, it comes with the territory, and I like the way it is displayed. It gives you an idea of what these characters are about with each other, and I like it. However, you start to notice also some tension between some of the characters. A certain Kastner and Rosa are very comfortable with each other. And if you know what that normally means amongst adults, you know.
Venir hasta acá por trabajo siempre es toda una aventura. Siempre hay algo nuevo. Coming up here for work is always an adventure. There's always something new, some new recreational sport to try, some new tourist recreational sport injury to address, some new man, and some new thing to discover. Graham and I went to the auxiliary bunker to examine a metal hatch he found.
One of these days I'm going to make that hydrate thing coffee.
The size of a small coffee table. Graham hoisted it up and I stuck a pipe in. After that, he pried it open until it fell against the wall with a crash. It was pitch black, as most places are up here in the winter. We shone a flashlight down, revealing stone stairs roughly hewn. There was a metal handrail, thankfully, as the stairs were unevenly steep and narrow. Graham descended first with his headlight. There is a tunnel at the bottom. We were hoping for a storage room. The tunnel looks different depending on where you are. We first entered into an area that looks like a narrow hallway, straight walls, even a handrail for a couple meters, but then it begins to look more like a mining tunnel. It is not unheard of for mining companies to make exploratory tunnels, scaffolding included in this instance. This tunnel continues for perhaps 3 kilometers before the scaffolding stopped, and it began to look like a natural stone cave system. There was one dominant path through the caves, though many side paths existed. It was at this point Graham decided to turn around. He deemed us unprepared for such a long exploratory hike. He plans to return tomorrow, better prepared. I can understand his reasoning, regardless of my excitement. The caves look as though they may only become more complicated as the tunnel goes on. Karina may have some insights into the use of such tunnels. It is cold down there, but there is no wind chill, so it is significantly better than the storm raging outside. I need a cup of coffee. Not that the stuff here counts as coffee.
More coffee!
The following recording has been placed following Dr. Della Torre and Mr. Kasner's return from the first exploration of the hatch in the auxiliary bunker.
Oh wait, that was a hydrate anyway. Hold on, let me actually...
Yes, that's how it works.
So it is recording now.
Yes.
That wasn't difficult.
No, the knobs and lights make it look more complicated than it actually is.
I found wine.
Wonderful. Far preferable to that Nordic potato spirit.
Wine does not agree with me.
Tonight, wine agrees with everyone. These bottles are a few years old, and this is not the kind of wine that ages well. So, drink up.
What she's basically saying is, you're going to get fucked up, baby.
Gracias.
So what did you find under the hatch?
A tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
No, just a tunnel. A mining tunnel, maybe. It became a cave the further we went.
The further you went? How long was it?
Several kilometers at least. And we did not reach the end.
Huh.
Why do you think we were gone so long?
You know exactly why I thought you were gone so long.
Too cold. Graham is a good-looking man, but nothing about those snowsuits is sexy.
Aha! There it is.
Do you plan on going back?
They're
Yes,
having
tomorrow.
lewd
Graham
thoughts.
wants to go in more prepared, though. Run a line and all.
I will join you. I would like to see some of the mining structures and natural caves of the area.
Caves are a big thing to geologists, right? Is it Der Hammer?
Naya, I knew teaching you guys the
Der
stuff would only be
Heimer.
used
I don't
against
know what
me.
that means.
And you're a bit too old to use that one, Rosa.
No older than you.
And I haven't said that since gymnasium.
There's no hot water left. It should heat back up in an hour or so. Do we have any coffee?
There should be a little left, though it may not be hot.
Rosa was telling us about the cave. I think it sounds thrilling. Any idea what it is? Oh, thank you. This wine smells robust.
Mining shaft, exploration, maybe soil samples. A lot of universities partner with the Sija group, right?
Yes, though I am unsure of the true reason behind the tunnel. All of these ideas do sound like valid guesses.
Do you know the direction the tunnel took?
Did you take a compass, Graham?
East, mostly.
Interesting.
Why so?
Just over a couple kilometers east of here is where the data is missing from the rover's transmission.
The recording stopped there. No other recordings or documents could be found prior to the previous group recording. This completes the second collection of information regarding the repair team at Outpost Freestead.
The White Vault. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Okay. I'm so happy to be sharing this hyperfixation with all of you, by the way. I'll let that play out for a second, and then we will pause. Alright, so those were the first 2 episodes of The White Vault. We have established as much character as we can before things ultimately go in a direction that I don't think anybody wants to go. And that is where things get very unfortunate, because that is exactly what you think is going to happen. So if you don't know, and obviously you don't, you're here, Doi. When it comes to storytelling, especially this type of storytelling, the question becomes, where is the horror? When does it happen? Because they make it very clear, episode 1, something terrible happened. So you already know, because these are past events. These are notes that are being taken. We're experiencing them in real time. For us, we're in the moment. But there's always that nagging feeling that you're going to have in the back of your head that says, this is a past event. This has already happened. And because this has already happened, there is nothing that can be done to save these people. Whatever terrible thing is about to befall them is going to befall them. It is inevitable, and we're along for the ride in a point of discovery. So that's what I adore in this part of storytelling. However, it does deeply make me feel... What is a word for this? I feel like I'm running behind on it, because if you don't pay attention to key details, you miss it. Like when I first listened to this story, this is a fault of mine. It may not necessarily be a fault of yours because I keep pointing it out. But when I first listened to this, because I was working in construction, I would sometimes miss key details in the storytelling. So I would be like, well, what's the whole thing about this missing data set that seems to have come out of nowhere? Is what I said, like an idiot who wasn't paying attention to the audio that had just been playing for me. You know what I mean? So if you didn't pay attention to the story, then this whole missing data feels like it comes out of nowhere, when it doesn't. She very much points out in the previous episode, and I believe even earlier here in the episode, that she is frustrated because the data is missing in the first place when it shouldn't be missing. Why is the data missing if these rovers are so accurate and they cover countless square kilometers, and yet there's a missing data set approximately 2 kilometers east of where they're currently stationed at? You now understand her frustration. You now understand why she, as a professional in geology, is frustrated. Which will only lead to more pain as we continue with the story. Because, of course, there is always going to be pain. I would play episode 3 right now, but again, we have listened to 2 episodes, and I will remind you that if you want to listen ahead for when we're not airing these on my streams, you can always, and I repeat, always, tune in to them on Audible. It is free. You don't have to pay for Audible. It's a free podcast. In fact, a lot of the podcasts that are on Audible are in fact free. So you don't have to worry about going in and being like, oh, well, I got to pay for this. No, you don't. No, you don't. You just need to have an Amazon account, log on to Audible, and you're good. You can listen to the White Vault podcast. They are currently on their 7th season. And if you're feeling generous, if you want to have more in-depth story, which I wouldn't recommend getting into until after we finish seasons 1 through 2 at the very least, they have a Patreon. Yes, Fool and Scholar, which is the name of the production company who put together the White Vault, they have a Patreon because they are a small team. I will put this for emphasis. They are an incredibly small team, and they work from like across the seas with all kinds of people from other podcasts through word of mouth, and they try to minimize however many commercials they can get purely by asking for crowdfunding. It also helps to pay the bills. It keeps the lights on. It keeps them from dying in the freezing cold. They are good. Good for them. Get that support. Yes, they do. And they have a multitude of other stories that add on to the White Vault in their Patreon. But again, because of the constructed timeline and how the story is told, as a personal recommendation from me, if you decide that you want to check out the side stories, I recommend that you wait until you finish season 1 and wait until you finish season 2. If you can do that, then the storytelling will get better. I promise it gets better. I have to point that out because, again, the storytelling can be a little... It's not that it's disjointed. I should make that clear. The storytelling isn't disjointed. It's just the storytelling doesn't follow a particular order, and it's up to you to figure out where the order sits, because there are different stories that go on either at the same time or directly one after the other. And it's usually up to the listener to determine where it fits in the timeline. Ideally, the story is being told in a chronological order if you're only listening to the podcast, because that's how the documentarian has it laid out for you, and you don't have to worry too much on that front. But for their side content, you have to figure out where it fits in the constructed timeline, because you will run into characters in some of the side content that have a direct connection, or they just plain show up in later seasons. You won't know who they are 100% because it's like, okay, who the heck is this guy? But if you paid attention to some of their side stories before or after jumping into the main content, you're basically like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme and like, that's the guy. Or that's the lady. That kind of thing. Like, you recognize names, you recognize characters, and you recognize referenced events. And that's the type of storytelling that I adore. I adore storytelling that takes it a step further, where you get a complete story all on its own, but then you get extra content that only adds further context, and it makes you appreciate the storytelling that much more. However, sometimes even adding that little bit of extra context can make or break a story for you on a personal level. Like, there's something that's spectacular about having a story where you're still left with a few questions, but the simple answer is, well, the story presents this, therefore this. When you get into a story that begins to explain itself, I feel like that diminishes the mystery and intrigue that comes with it. So, like, if you know the story has this amorphous, anomalous thing that you have no idea what it is, you have no explanation for why it is, you just know what it does, then I like that. Don't give any further explanation. If you have a personal explanation, do not share it. There they is, exactly. But yeah, no, like just don't share it. If you're an author and you want to tell like an esoteric or even tell an eldritch story with something that's meant to horrify you because you don't understand it, don't then proceed to explain it. This is a flaw that I have noticed in a few storytelling, not storytelling, in a few authors, where they feel this desperate need to explain something that should remain unexplainable. Obvious exceptions go to certain characters, like if you've sat down and read Godzilla Black Mass, a pretty damn good, by the way, a pretty damn good comic that you can find on Twitter and Blue Sky. It is really good. And the author even does the thing that I would criticize, which is explain the monster. But they do so in a way where it's not so much explaining and then it ruins the mystery, but more so explaining and it only enhances it. But you will note that's because it's not supposed to be a mystery. We know why Godzilla exists. We know why the salamander grows into Godzilla. We know why it's happening in the first place, and thanks to the power of like wordless storytelling just through pictures, we know that these lizards, these salamanders, are way more than what they appear to be. There is more to them than just being these suspicious little creatures that swim in a tank covered in radiation. Okay? Okay. But then when you get into this, like, for one, it'll take away from the story, and two, part of the fun is not knowing what it is. Keeps you guessing. No, exactly. The idea is that if you don't know what the mystery is, or rather, if it stays a mystery and it's not explained, it allows you to have conjecture. It allows you to have some thought. It allows you to be like, okay, I want to understand it. Let's theorize. It builds people's interests in a positive way, which is then taken away if you try to explain for the audience. Let the audience figure out. Have faith that the audience will want and desire to know more, and so they learn naturally. Because that's the biggest point too. Let them figure it out. Let them piece it together. If you let them piece it together, it becomes so much more satisfying. I don't know why it's so difficult to fight this, but it ends up being exactly that. You know, it's just people want to over-explain, and there's nothing wrong with that. If I were to sit down and go through the personal history of every OC that I've ever made for D&D, then I would probably explain so much that why bother watching the character develop in a live D&D session when I could just exposit, here's the character, here's their story, their struggles and everything, their entire backstory. The campaign has no bearing on the character because this is what the character is. You didn't let them discover it. You didn't let them find it on their own. You didn't let them find it organically. And that's the point. Organic storytelling. I'm starting to sound more like Cecil the more I talk. Good God. Anyway, the audience is smart. They'll connect the dots. The audience is smart sometimes. I will fully admit that there are cases where the audience doesn't understand a story, and then points are taken off of a story where they think, okay, this is just bad storytelling because they didn't get it. Now, that being said, I also fully understand just because you don't get it doesn't necessarily mean that you're incorrect for feeling how you feel about a particular story. So it's a double-edged sword if you catch the meaning. So if your story hangs on you telling a certain plot point because it's not explained very well and you have to explain it for the audience, you have failed. But if it requires a higher IQ to understand, or it requires basic media literacy that sometimes few folks struggle with, that's not necessarily bad storytelling. That's just the audience not getting the message you're trying to lay down. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? It is a nuanced discussion that honestly would be lost in having it here, because we are not the people who can judge those types of stories as they release themselves. We just can't. Someday I'd like to. I'd like to sit down and have a discussion about certain pieces of media. But I also know that deep down, if I did, it would also reveal my own personal deep-rooted bitterness. Not Jello Apocalypse level of deep-rooted bitterness where he just hates certain anime and so he has to slander them wherever he goes. More so just, you know, we'll get to that when we get to that in the future. For now, we kick back, we relax, we vibing, styling, dude, even, and go from there. Oh, come on. There we go, that clips on. Wait a minute, is this one just a copy of the same side, or is it at least varied? It looks like it's varied. Or they both have the same thing and just... What a weird ankle part. Thankfully, this isn't particularly a struggle. This RG kit is actually fairly decent. I need background music. I just realized the silence is deafening and it hurts. We need music. Let's see. What's a good song? I need music recommendations. There we go, an oldie but a goodie. Just something simple to kick back, relax, and listen to when putting a model kit together. Most people put on jazz. I like my good old File City nighttime theme. It's simple, it's quiet, and it's a default. The Sounds of Saturn from Space. You should play it. The hell is that, and why does that sound cool, actually? The Sounds of Saturn from Space. I mean, I'd be down to play anything new that's different. I guess I'm just a little apprehensive because the last time I played a space game, I was thoroughly... not disappointed in the story, but disappointed in the gameplay, because I was expecting something different from what I received, I guess is the point I'm making here. So I'll take your word for it. I'm just a little concerned about what I'm going to be exposed to. Also, if the game is going to be boring, please don't let the game be boring. I will actually be very sad if the game is boring. Don't worry about it. What do you mean, don't worry about it? You can't just drop that and say, don't worry about it. Binge? It's not a game, it's a listening recommendation. Oh. Is it a song or is it a song or is it a podcast? Tell me. I love how you just didn't tell me. You just smiled. How about this? Put it in the media request. Put it in the media request. Let me make sure media request runs over here. Yeah, no. Put it in the media requests. Let it play. Put it in the media requests and we can play it. The command for it is still the same, although I wish my bot would, you know, advertise that. I wonder if there's a chat bot for YouTube. I'll have to look into that. Again, this was only meant to be a test stream. And E, letter E. You've got E. Wait, is this E? Or am I crazy? I'm probably crazy. No, this is F. I can't read. Where is E? Okay, there's E. Wait a goddamn minute. Oh, there it is. I'm watching my media requests tab with anticipation. Because you have my attention, boss. You have my attention, boss. And yet, you have done nothing with it. But why? Why? Why would you do that? Why? Let's see. Do 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 do. You forgot what the media request thing is. Here, let me see if I can find it for you. Hold on. If I can just close this. Make sure it's facing the correct way. Okay. This is oriented correctly. Except it's not. There we go. Now it's oriented correctly. Also, I love how this thing has like 2 different shades of red. I like that. I don't know why. I'm a simple man, but I love the concept of having more than one shade of red. More than one shade of any color is good. You don't know what the media controls are. Let me see if I can find them real quick. Okay. Where are you? I don't see the commands. That's weird. Hold on. Don't worry, I will get this. I will get this. I think. Let's see. That's for removing songs. That's for skipping song. Song queue, I believe, is the one. No, that's for the queue. Never mind. Song request clear. I appreciate that. I don't see... That is wild. Where is it? Don't worry, I'm gonna find it. If not, I'm gonna cry. There it is. It's a media request. I think I set it up for 1,000 points. It might actually be in the points thingamajig. I will know in a moment. Okay, so it's song request and then you follow it up with a URL. So yeah, it's a exclamation point song request, and then I don't remember if there's supposed to be a space or not, and then you just attach whatever URL you want to attach. Give it a try and let me know if it works. If it doesn't work, then we cry together. Because that's all we can do is cry. Because that option has always been there. It's just, I don't get to see very many people use it. And I will keep an eye on the queue for when it happens, or if it automatically plays. And as for what we're building here, maximum effort. We are currently in the process of building Wing Gundam, well, not Wing Gundam, Gundam Epion. He's a cute little fella. He has dragon head for feet, which is a little weird. Not gonna lie, it's certainly a choice that is being made in terms of fashion. I'm not going to deny my edgy boy. Oh, there we are. Added Planet Sound, Planet Saturn sound. Okay. Let me... Hold on. I hear something. Why isn't it queued up? Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Where's the song that you queued up? I don't believe I skipped it, did I? Oh my god, am I going to have to just take your URL and just plug it in myself? It looks like it. It looks like it. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do that right now. Oh, shoot. You're building the right ankle parts. Yep. The newest model I built was the HG Destiny Spec 2 and Zeus Silhouette from the HG. See, I love Gundam Seed model kits. I've just not been able to sit down and watch the series because I think it's just... I don't know. I don't know how I can tolerate Wing, but I don't tolerate Seed. It's weird to me. But going back to here, let me see if I can grab the link that you provided. Copy link. I want you to know right now, boss, you are no longer invited to the cookout. You are no longer welcome at my cookout. You're no longer welcome at my house. You are an agent of the devil, and I believe that a baptism, an exorcism, something or other needs to be conducted for the safety of all who may or may not be involved in future projects and events. There is no amount of hydration that will save you from my wrath. I will do everything in my power to find hitmen who are capable of the job of your removal from this and any other life. I am going to make it my personal mission to destroy you in any way, shape, or form I can. That is my new goal. That is my new goal. When the day comes, you will sleep with one eye open. You will not be able to rest in your coffin. A stake is already being carved as we speak to be driven into your chest cavity. This bit's gone on for too long. What did he do that was so bad? He introduced me to the sound of Saturn. There's no longer version. There's a longer version and one with all the planet sounds, but I wanted to show you my favorite. Sir, boss. Therapy is what is needed. I guess now is a matter of me looking into the camera for a minute. Hang on. Have you been drinking water? Are you hydrated? Is this uncomfortable for you? If it is, I'm sorry. But I have to know. Have you been drinking water? Are you hydrated? Is the thoughts that you're having a result of dehydration? Have you drank enough blood? Is there enough iron in the blood that you've drank? Is the person whomst you are drinking blood from, are they hydrated? Is this just dehydration square? I don't know yet. I just want you to know, boss, that if the health app for Digimon still existed, I would be living in your smartwatch right now, or your phone, and questioning you like the Duolingo bird. Are you hydrated? Did you remember to pee? Did you remember to drink plenty of water? Are you drinking water right now? Are you feeling, sir? Are you like Jeff the Killer? Are you getting a feeling? Are you feeling the feelings that you are feeling right now? If you don't know the context behind that joke, there is no helping you. I'm not going to explain it any further than the fact that Jeff the Killer is stupid and we should all make fun of it whenever possible, however possible. Not because it's a bad story, but because that is a product of time. I do genuinely have a number of favorite songs, though. Let us hope I didn't waste all stream element points. Haha. Well, that's why I set it to 1,000, because I have been told numerously by people that I should start increasing the points since they're so cheap, and so I did. I did that. I followed through with the recommendation. If 1,000 still seems like it's too small, I'm going to cry, because it's like I don't want to go bigger than 1,000 for a music request, but I also don't want to use money for music requests because I don't want to make people spend more money than they already do. I'm just not that person. I couldn't do it. Wine? Have a drink. One sip and you'll understand the power that's in your hands. A wine so fresh, you'll never want to eat human flesh again. Once we shall be on our way. No bloodshedding here today. A trade you see, a gift from you and a gift from me. I'd like to thank you. Stranger, what's your name? I am an energy vampire. Oh my god, you feed off of vibes? Oh, we skipped a song already. Added Ghost Dance Macabre. Let's see if it actually made it through, because I'm going to be so mad if it's not on the queue. Why? There we go. Hopefully that's working now, because this is getting frustrating. I recently finished watching Mobile Suit Gundam 00 on YouTube and enjoyed it. Now I want HG revive kits based on the Gundam. See, the one that I've been waiting on a revive for has been the Exia, but for the Master Grade, because that Master Grade really needs new ankles. It really does. That poor thing is in need of new ankles. I really got to start building more Master Grade. Like, high grades and real grades are great because of their size, convenience, they're easy to hold, they're easy to display if you have the means to do so. But, like, I love Master Grade for the challenge and complexity that comes with a big kit with a bunch of little parts. And this already feels, in its own way, like a miniature Master Grade. So I'm surprised I don't just bite the bullet and say, screw it, let's build a Master Grade on stream. Like I did when I did the Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt Full Armor. That was certainly an experience. And a lesson for me in how much pain I can tolerate in a single day. Alright, let's see if I can do this correctly. Okay, no, this music is good. I like this. I vibe with this. Okay. Spiky kneecaps. And spiky shins. What a weird mechanic. But I can't say much the same for... Well, I can't say much due to the way that the Wing Gundam's transformation is just also a contortion of the body just to reproduce an effect. So, not much to add in that regard. I may have also done this wrong in hindsight. I wonder. No, didn't do it wrong. Alright. I guess I'm just being paranoid about how I put this piece together. Could cut your fingers on that bad boy. Yep. It's like, ah, shit. I need more song requests, and they better load, goddammit. I'm getting annoyed that they're not loading. Let me try refreshing and seeing if that helps. Okay, try again to put a song and see if that works. And then I'm going to see if I can't work on another Oh, shoot, it's 11:30 already. So, unfortunately, I do have to get off the stream. I was going to try to start earlier in an attempt to make time because, unfortunately, despite the fact that I started streaming today and I wanted to do some tests, I, unfortunately, have a bit of bad news. This week I'm working a double. Yeah, a double. Sorry, I don't know why I held my fingers over there like you could see it on the camera. You can't. So I'm working a double, meaning that I work on my day off tomorrow and Wednesday, which sucks, but it is what it is. And then Thursday and Friday, I am working first and second shift, which means I'm just going to be unavailable completely on those days, even though I desperately wanted to be available on those days. The good news, I get more money. I get more money. I mean, we're talking about an extra 32 hours of overtime. That is hella bank in my bank account that I desperately need. On the flip side to that, I'm going to be so tired. I'm not going to be able to stream on days when I come home from work. I don't even know what I'm going to do. Tomorrow we're supposed to have D&D. I don't know if that is going to even happen. I'll have to double check my schedule and see if I can even make time for D&D tomorrow. And then Wednesday we're supposed to have movie night. I am 100% down for movie night. I'm 100% down to do that when I get home. Just know that I'm going to be dog tired. Can't stay up until 1 in the morning because I have to wake up at 4 in the morning to go work 8 hours of first shift and another 8 hours of evening shift. So Columbo is going to be a short movie night if we even have it, and D&D is left in the air. We'll keep you posted on how that's going to turn out as we do things over on Ovos channel. For now though, I think this was a fairly decent stream. I at least now know I can, in fact, stream on 2 different platforms. I'm on YouTube and I'm on Twitch. I just have to rebrand the YouTube side of it to make it more physically appealing to what I'm trying to do. Maybe even get some custom thumbnails, because I don't have thumbnails. Shit. maybe I should not stream on YouTube until I can get that figured out. But on the Twitch side of things, you already know what my Twitch channel is, so I'm good with that. And yeah, I'm going to discuss with the boys about what we're going to do this week, because I need to make that extra money. And maybe the next time I stream, maybe it'll be Saturday, maybe it'll be Sunday, or I'll just wait until next Monday, and we'll have another Model Kit Monday and see if we can get further along. In the meantime, one of the things I want to point out, I love the legs. These legs make it look like he's wearing boots because of the way that this coloration is happening towards the thigh, and then the calves are just the spikiest boots in all of existence. The edges are spiked, the front is spiked, and even the boot itself is the head of a dragon. It's adorably cute in just how edgy it's trying to be. But for now, we're gonna call this a stream. We've made the legs. Next on the list is going to be the waist unit, and then hopefully we can get the media situated. I can get this camera situated. I can get everything situated. What's the camera charge in this thing? 68%. Maybe I should have just been doing this all along. I feel like I've just been making it hard for myself. Jesus. All right. So until then, or until I have the budget to commission more artists, emotes, and other things, take care. Have a good one. And I'll see you on the next stream next Monday. Bye-bye.